wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the dreaded D-Rose Report. I was busy the last few days with the vacation and everything. I was out in the yard working. Didn't go nowhere. Hey, better get busy here. Got a lot of news for you. Randy Orton's been told by doctors he will have to get surgery on his shoulder at some point since it's a reoccurring problem. Latest word on the Undertaker. He's about 50-50 on for the Fatal 4-Way main event. We should know more after tonight's SmackDown taping, and the talk this weekend was that Kane may replace Undertaker in the match. If they don't use him, they may use Little Ray. All right, John Cena wrote on his Twitter account about Evan Bourne. C Nation, he says, Evan is for real. He says, I've always felt that he's been overlooked, and it's been a privilege to be his teammate. I've said that for I don't know how long, ever since Evan came to ECW. They pushed him real big, then all at once he got injured when he jumped off the rope and twisted his ankle, I think. Ever since then, they've just buried this guy. Man, he's a hell of a deal. Anyway, it's believed, by the way, Ashton Kutcher's segments on last night's Raw were taped over the weekend in Los Angeles, so you could probably tell the difference. Eve Torres and The Miz, the only superstars that appear with Kutcher, both live in Los Angeles. Randy Orton, back to that again, was told over the weekend that he shouldn't be wrestling for at least 3 weeks, but besides the attack from Edge last night, Orton isn't expected to take any bumps over the next few weeks leading up to the Fatal 4-Way. They're going to try and get his butt back in shape, and of course, anybody going to any of the live wrestling matches between now and then, I don't think you're going to see Orton at them. He may come in and make an appearance, I guess. It's believed that a new, shorter season of NXT is going to be starting next week. Possibly built around Kaval or Joe Henning as the top stars, with a new cast of developmental stars being called up. It isn't confirmed as of this last weekend, though, but some of the WWE creative team has no idea what's going to happen after this week's finale, because they're trying to peddle that program to other cable channels, and if they don't get anybody to take it on, they're going to probably put it on their website. I don't know how much people sit and watch live things on a WWE website. Well, not live, but wrestling. A lot of people's computers just aren't that good and don't have that good a picture. John Morrison, he was spotted at the airport in Las Vegas during a UFC weekend this past Saturday, and was noted before, though, Morrison has been out of action with an ankle injury. WWE really hoping that they can get UFC fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson into the ring for some physical action when he hosts Raw with his 18 co-stars next week. UFC President Dana White, though, recently commented how he had a good relationship with Vince McMahon, has no problem with Quentin appearing on Raw, but if he were to do something physical, they would have to talk to him first, the UFC people. Since the show is also going to be featured SmackDown stars, it's going to be interesting to see if Undertaker's there. Taker blew Jackson off years ago when Jackson tried to meet him. Quentin never forgot the incident, and it's kind of soured him on wrestling business. Growing up, Rampage was a big wrestling fan, I guess. And anyway, before last night's Raw hit the air, here's kind of what the build-up was. Edge came out, and if you haven't seen Raw, you'll know what I'm talking about as soon as you see it. When Edge came out and said Raw hasn't started, but I told the crowd in the arena Raw hadn't started yet, but he was going to stand in the ring and say what he wanted, and nobody could stop him. Well, Evan Bourne's music, I guess. Bourne said he would start by challenging Ed for his spot in the Fatal 4-Way main event, and they went at it, and that's when Raw started. That's why we've seen it right in the middle, no pyro or anything. Still got a cough. After last night's Raw went off now, Edge came back out, speared Evan Bourne. Edge cut a promo on John Cena before Bret Hart came back out. And Brett made Edge versus Cena match right here, right now, in this very ring. All in cliches they do. Anyway, Cena ended up winning after the STFU, and then Cena called out Evan Bourne back out. Bourne hit another airborne on Edge, and Bourne and Cena left while Edge took the mic. And then he kind of recovered and said if he sees the fans in this arena, outside somewhere, he's going to slap the taste out of their mouth. If they've got it. Anyway, WWE will take tonight's final NXT and this weekend's SmackDown from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas on NXT tonight. The winner of the season will be crowned. New Drew McIntyre and Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental title is confirmed for SmackDown, while Rey Mysterio versus Big Show versus Jack Swagger is advertised for the dark main event. Raw Superstar member Ezekiel Jackson, anyway, noted on his Twitter yesterday, I can't imagine him twittering, but he said that he's still out of action for a few months, and before returning to the ring, Jackson said he's been out of action with a torn quadricep since April. Jim Ross wrote the following on his Twitter account regarding last night's Raw. He said, Michael Cole entered Raw tonight in Austin to what music? Boomer Sooner. He said, that's great heat. Anyway, Sign Guy got front row tickets at Raw, and Raw feels fresh tonight, like the newness, truth going up, and in stature. And Brian is excellent. Uzos and Bourne, he says yes. This is all on Twitter. Yeah, abbreviate everything. Pardon me. I should turn my head and cough. Hope you don't catch anything. Anyway, the announced main event for tonight's Raw from the Frank Aaron's Center, Austin, Texas. They said they were 11,600 strong. The official theme for WWE's Fatal 4-Way is Showstopper by Toby Mac. Dark main event before tonight's or last night's Raw. Don Carras defeated Yoshitatsu. Mark Henry versus Primo and Gail Kin versus Jillian was taped for tonight's Raw for the Thursday Night Superstar WGN. Next week's 3-hour Raw from Miami is going to be beginning at 8 o'clock, so please make a note of it. Fans are going to be able to vote on matches and stipulations this coming Monday at WWE's website. The cast of the A-Team is going to be there, and UFC, of course, Rampage Jackson will be co-host. Tonight's season finale of NXT is going to be featuring 3 rookies, Justin Gabriel, Wade Barrett, David Otunga, and 1 rookie is going to be declared the winner during the main event spot title match. It gets a title match on WWE pay-per-view. Who do you think of the 3 is going to come out on top? Put it on here before the taping now. Justin Gabriel, Wade Barrett, David Otunga. I already had one guy, one caller, and one internet guy. It doesn't say it's got to be Otunga because he has his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is a actress, and that's what WWE likes. Get that mainstream stuff. Anyway, I believe it's going to be Otunga too. Anyway, advertised for next week's SmackDown taping, Tampa, Florida, is the dark main event is Big Show and Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk and Jack Swagger in a steel cage. Bret Hart announced on last night's Raw that next week's is going to be, of course, 3-hour show featuring superstars from Raw and SmackDown. The show is going to be viewer's choice where fans can pick the matches. Well, on a related note, Vince returned to TV last night in the same segment and wished Bret Hart good luck as general manager with kind of a sneer on him. Of course, he probably can't help it. Hey, I'm about out of time. I got a bunch. Hey, I'll save it for tomorrow. Thanks for clicking, and I gotta go.